From your HyperDoc, you have a doc that's called Map Independent Work. When you open that up, you will see a document that looks like this. I just want to go over the directions for you. You'll be given the task of finding maps that exhibit all the qualities that are described in today's learning goal. The learning goal is that you'll be able to demonstrate how maps convey representations of space, place, and location through symbols, keys, scale, and other manners of representation. You should recognize this from the summer work, but now you're going to be doing it independently. You'll be given the task of finding examples of maps from various regions of the world. There are 9 major regions listed below. Your job will be to find maps within 3 of the 9 regions, create links to the map's website, and then give a description of how the map conveys representations of space, place, and location. You will also describe how it uses symbols, keys, scales, and other manners of representation. You are encouraged to find political maps, historic maps, tourist maps, topographical maps, climatic maps, economic or resource maps, or any maps you find interesting. For instance, you do not have to find a map that comprises all of Latin America. If you find a map that just has 1 or 2 countries or a certain region within Latin America, for instance, the Amazonian rainforest, that would be fine. Once you find your maps, you have to put them in a region, place the link here, and then describe how does your map represent space, place, and location, and how does it use symbols, keys, scales, and other manners of representation. So let me provide you an example of how you would go about doing this. I have found a map here that are the reported cases of Lyme disease in the United States in 2018. So your first step will be to go ahead and copy the link, and then you're going to place the link here. And then you see that it should open up and show you the map that I already showed you. The other thing you want to do is make sure you describe the region. Because it's the United States, the region would be the US and Canada. So just type your region here in this box. And then you have to begin describing how does it show space, place, and location. How does it represent that? And how does it use symbols, keys, scales, and other manners of representation? When you look at the map, you can see that how does it represent space, place, and location? Well, the space would be the 48 contiguous United States, but they also have included, because they wanted all 50 states represented, Alaska and Hawaii, which obviously are misplaced as far as where they would be geographically compared to the rest of the United States, but they had to fit them in. The use of symbols, keys, scales, and other manners of representation. Your key is here. You have a legend here that shows you it's color-coded by gray being high incidence states and white being low incidence states of Lyme disease. Some of those states that have solid blue would be gray behind them because obviously they have so many cases of Lyme disease that it shows up as blue. So here in the Northeast, you can see that the majority or the bulk of Lyme disease cases are found here. And out here in the western states, you have a greater scattering of incidence of Lyme disease. As far as scale is concerned, remember that the scale is thrown off. Some of you should know that this state here, Alaska, is the largest state in the Union. And yet, in order to fit it into this representation to show the incidence of Lyme disease, Alaska had to be distorted. It can fit inside Texas on this map, which clearly it cannot in the real world. So that would be one example of how they ended up changing the scale. And the keys, again, the symbols they use would be the blue dots for incidence of Lyme disease, and the scale would be the scale thrown off because of the size of the states. And what was the other one? The symbols, again, the blue dots and the shading to show the incidence of Lyme disease. So I hope this helps in what you are supposed to do. Again, you're going to type in your information in this box. How does this particular map show space, place, and location? And how does it use symbols, keys, and scale and other manners of representation? So that's one example to show you. I'll go ahead and get rid of that. And you will end up linking your own maps from, again, 3 of these 9 regions. Again, you don't have to have a map that has all of South Asia. You could have a map that's just of Pakistan or the Maldive Islands or Ceylon or some example. Again, it's entirely up to you, whatever maps you find interesting. So, good luck.